Was Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons a little disrespected? What is going on, everyone? It's cool to talk NBA in September. I know there's not a lot to really address when it comes to moves and splashes and whatnot, but we all have the itch, and it's okay to sit back, relax, and talk some hoops. And that's exactly what Brian Windhorst did, Royce Young, and Tim MacMahon. And they redrafted the NBA. It's as if you're playing NBA 2K, you go into My GM mode, you hit franchise mode in the fantasy draft, and you're able to just select from every single player in the league. Now, before we dive into this, and before we dive into where Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons fell, free $20. It's essentially a free ticket. Use the promo code BROADS at SeatGeek's checkout. Why not? It's a free $20. Let's see where Embiid and Ben Simmons fell in comparison to the other 21 guys that were selected. Now, how this worked was, it was Royce Young starting it, then Tim MacMahon, and Windhorst. Then Windhorst would go. MacMahon, Royce, MacMahon, Windhorst. And keep in mind, they're not drafting their personal teams. It's as if the Sixers pick, the Celtics pick, the Bucks pick, the Lakers pick, the Knicks pick. So when they pick, it's not a team of guys they are choosing. They start off with the first pick in the draft, and that's Giannis. Okay, I get it. Right? I understand. It makes sense. He's young. He's a freak. A Greek freak. See what I did there? Okay, it is what it is. Luka Doncic at 2. Listen, I get it. I get his upside. He had a great rookie year. It was fun. It was exciting. A European player that always adds interest to it. But number 2 is ridiculous because Kawhi Leonard's number 3. And I'm sorry, I get that Luka is a good player, but Kawhi Leonard, as much as I love LeBron James so much, Kawhi Leonard is arguably the best basketball player in the NBA right now. He's in his mid-20s. What are we doing here? Well, maybe not mid-20s, later 20s. But that's still prime worthy, and he got plenty of years to go. Kawhi Leonard is over Luka Doncic, in my opinion. This makes me laugh, and I'm not going to break down everyone, but this makes me laugh that Anthony Davis went 5. Anthony Davis. He's overrated. Good player, overrated. Not elite superstar. Good player, though. Definitely an above-average player. Maybe good's not the right word to use. But he's not an elite superstar. And for him to be 5 over Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, Paul George. I mean, hell, you could argue Klay Thompson, Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant went 12. That's ridiculous to me. It blows my mind. That's not right. And also, speaking of another big man that went before Joel Embiid, Jokic. And I like what Jokic brings to the table. But I'm sorry, I'm going Joel Embiid. And you want to argue the injury factor? Sure, but Anthony Davis hasn't been the healthiest man throughout his career. Jokic is different. They run the offense through him, which is so unique in this modern NBA. But one-on-one skill set, I'm taking Joel Embiid, who ends up going 14th. Now, there are some guys that make sense, and I would never argue. LeBron James is ahead of him. Okay, like I said, KD. Steph Curry, James Harden, Kawhi. Like, these names make sense. Giannis. Okay, it makes sense. But you can't tell me you'd rather take 2 other big men. 2. Over the process. It's ridiculous to me. Right below Embiid, Kyrie Irving went 15. And how great is this? And when I say great, I mean laughable. Donovan Mitchell at 16. I don't see it. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't see. And I know that the Donovan Mitchell beef and the Ben Simmons Rookie of the Year beef is always going to circulate when it comes to Sixers fans talking about Donovan Mitchell. He has energy surrounding his game. There's no denying that. There's a spark there, of course. But he also shoots 45 times a game to score 30 points. It's insanity. And people want to say, well, he had the injury, it lingered, he wasn't able to work out as much as he wanted to in the offseason. It clearly lingered, it clearly affected him last season. It's hard to judge people off their second season, and I get that, I totally do. But Donovan Mitchell, to start your franchise over Ben Simmons? Hell no. I mean, just hell no. Because Ben Simmons is 19th on the list. And they stated when he was drafted in this redraft, he has a significant flaw that is obviously noted. But to be able to affect the game without that jump shot, it's wild. He's so good at everything else, he still dominates the floor without being able to shoot a ball. They were mesmerized by that, as they should be. I mean, at the end of the day, every basketball fan should be mesmerized by that. So we have Ben Simmons at 19. In front of him was Russell Westbrook at 18. Rudy Gobert at 17. I'm sorry, but starting your franchise, Rudy Gobert over Ben Simmons? How? How do you start your franchise building around Rudy Gobert over Ben Simmons? It doesn't even make a lick of sense, and these are guys who cover the league. How do they do that? 20th was Bradley Beal. So you're putting Ben Simmons on the same level as Bradley Beal? That's no knock on Beal. Different style of player, so I guess it's really kind of hard to compare the two. But I would put Bradley Beal at a different tier. Bradley Beal, you don't start your franchise around. He's a good secondary piece. If you have a nice squad and you add Bradley Beal, he's taking you to the next level. But you don't build around Bradley Beal. Isn't that essentially what happened in Washington once John Wall went down? He was the guy. I mean, he put up good numbers, but he didn't carry the team or anything. And at 21 is Jason Tatum, who I'm not even a huge fan of, but I would even put him over Bradley Beal. I'd rather start my franchise with Jason Tatum maybe over Rudy Gobert. I was very blown away with some of the picks that they made. Keep in mind, though, the way they drafted, if Royce Young went, Tim MacMahon went, and then Windy went, it could have went differently if the orders were switched, because it was their personal preference. For example, Tim MacMahon actually got questioned a couple times. You're going with the big man again? Because he drafted 3 big men. He's the guy who went with Anthony Davis with the 5th pick. Then he went Nikola Jokic with the 8th pick. And then he went with Embiid at the 14th pick. So if it was a different rotation, could the draft have been different based off of their personal decisions and their personal opinions? Absolutely, it could have went differently. When you could critique it, I'm annoyed by some things, absolutely, as I should be, because I stand behind my men, I stand behind my players, and I know what they can bring to the table. Take a step back, look at it from a farther view. We have 2 players in their top 21, really in their top 20, because Ben Simmons was 19. We have 2 of their top 20 players to start a franchise with. That's not a bad place to be. It's definitely not a bad place to be. And that's why when I look at the future of this basketball team, the window is there. The window is there. And Ben Simmons will take that jump. I really do believe in it. I'm completely fallen in love with the hype, with all the videos. He's going to be a dog. Now, it's funny. I was actually asked a question by one of my good buddies. He was in a big debate. He asked me, Broads, shot me a text. Broads, big question for you. I respond, what's up, dude? Will Ben Simmons hit 7 3-pointers this year? And I responded, no. I don't think Ben Simmons is just going to walk in and start nailing 3-pointers. But if he consistently knocks down 15-footers, that's what we need. That's the step we're talking about. You don't just go from not shooting a basketball at all to knocking down threes at will. I don't think he's going to be popping threes at will. He might take a couple. He might take a couple here and there. But it's about the 15-footers. So I ask you this question. You have $1,000 to put on this bet. The over or under 7 3-pointers made for Ben Simmons for this upcoming year. Which way do you lean? I'm hitting the under. But that doesn't mean Ben Simmons isn't working hard, or it doesn't mean he's not going to add jump shots to his game, because I think it's the complete opposite. He will. It's just going to be the mid-range game. But I look at this list, and I look at where the Sixers are, and I remember the tank years. Oh, look at where we are. Look at where we are. It's unreal. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe, and I will see you next time.